As much as I dislike that job, it will be preferable to this. I leave you with it.
Jesus Christ. What the hell was that all about?
Where'd you get a gun?
We had you on the ropes, John. You're really so damn smart.
It's not like Will.
Mary passed away yesterday.
Who?
His wife. She had pancreatic cancer.
Will.
I didn't know about Mary. I'm sorry. I can see how this might have hit you.
Please, permit me to be infantile by myself.
Will.
Please.
What the hell were you thinking, Art?
Oh, come on. Something had to be done.
I have to say I agree.
And he's our friend. Whatever else on earth is going on, he's our friend.
You sure about that?
Why the hell are you being so hard on him, Edith?
One of my favorite people has disappeared. Can you get Alzheimer's at 35? Maybe I'm trying to wake him up. Maybe I'm too sad to cry.
What I said about myself hurt him. He struck back.
Expertly. That stuff about stealing life forces.
I've always wondered about the reasons.
Well, still have an afternoon to kill, right? Charades?
No, John. I have a charade, and it is just for you. All right, Sandy, come here. No, come on. Okay, this one's for you. All right. Ready?
My first wedding?
There you go. Very good, and I bet at least one of us is your direct descendant.
And I'd even send a Christmas card.
Christmas card? What about a birthday card? And don't even get me started on the candles with the blowing and the... for years with the blowing.
Yeah, all right, I tried.
Well, call me underdeveloped, but I'd like to hear more.
Me too.
More.
Do you double damn swear this isn't some cockamamie science fiction story you're pulling on us?
Next question.
You realize this is an invitation to men in white suits with happy pills.
Well, think about it. A mechanism allowing survival for thousands of years?
Run out of room even faster.
Well, then we'd have to go to Mars as a colony, as we expand it, as we'd have to.
I'd like that. On a planet of another star.
I envy you.
Did he have a pet dinosaur?
They were a little bit before my time.
At least something is.
No doubt you could give us 1,000 details, John, corroborating your story. From the Madeleine to the Buddha to now.
10,000. And you could say out of the books.
It's getting chilly.
Over here, join me.
Well, that raises an interesting question, John. Could there be others like you who escaped the aging process as you have?
Representing something terrific we don't even know about biology.
Learning all the time.
Yeah, but how would he know? He doesn't wear an armband and an ID badge saying yabba dabba doo.
Now, there was a man in the 1600s that I met.
Where were you in 1292 AD?
Where were you a year ago on this date? Anyway, the 1600s, I met a man and I had a hunch that he was like me, so I told her.
Ah! See, you said this was a first.
I forgot.
A crack in your story, John.
A touch of senility. Anyway, he said yes, but from another time, another place. We talked for 2 days. It was all pretty convincing, but we couldn't be sure. We each confirmed what the other said, but how did we know if the confirmation was genuine or an echo? I knew I was kosher, but I thought, maybe he's playing a game on me. a scholar of all we spoke about. He said he was inclined to the same reservation.
Oh, that's interesting. Just as we can never be sure, even if we wanted to. I mean, if we were sure, you couldn't be sure of that.
We parted, agreeing to keep in touch. Of course, we didn't. And 200 years later, I thought I saw him at a train station in Brussels. Lost him in the crowd.
Oh, what a shame. I mean, if it were true.
Okay, here's one for you. What do you do in your spare time?
Every 50 years or so, when I want to get away from the rush, I go down to a primitive tribe in New Guinea where I'm worshipped as an immortal god. They have a huge statue of me. It's a big party. Yeah, I got a lot of pictures of it, but I've already packed them up. I'm sorry.
I won't make the obvious nasty crack about more unwashed cavemen.
Actually, bathing was the style into the Middle Ages, and the church told us it was sinful to wash away God's dirt. So people were sewn into their underwear in October, and they popped out in April.
You said you just happened. I don't believe that. If your story's true, why did God allow you to happen?
That makes an interesting point. Are you religious, John?
I don't follow a known religion, no.
Ever?
Long time ago I did. Like most people. Some just never get over it.
Do you believe in God?
As Laplace said, I have no need of that hypothesis. He may be around, though.
He's everywhere. We just can't see him.
This was the best I could do. I'd be hiding, too.
And creation.
It's here. I'm not so sure it was created.
What then?
Maybe it's just accumulated fields affecting fields.
What about the source of the field energies? Wouldn't that imply a prime mover?
I'd wonder about the source of the prime mover, infinite regress, but that doesn't imply anything to me. Back to the mystery.
Well, it's a very old question, but there's no answer except in religious terms. If you have faith, it's answered.
Did you ever meet any person from our religious history? A biblical figure?
In a way.
Who?
We should skip this one.
No, skip it. Come on.
And the next question.
No, come on. Come on, Johnny.
Can't let this drop.
Come on, spit it out.
Good Lord, you were one of them.
This is going in a direction that I didn't expect. I hoped it wouldn't. We call it a night.
Come on! You were someone in religious history?
Yes.
In the Bible?
Yes.
Someone we know?
How could we not know someone in the Bible?
I mean, somebody important.
Well, you may think you know him, but it's mostly myth.
The entire Bible is mostly myth and allegory with maybe some basis in historical events. You were part of that history?
Moses.
Moses was based on Mysis, a Syrian myth. And there are earlier versions, all found floating on water. A staff that changed to a snake. Waters that were parted so followers could be led to freedom and even receive laws on stone or wooden tablets.
One of the apostles.
They weren't really apostles. They didn't do any real teaching. Peter the fisherman learned a little more about fishing.
How do you know that?
The mythical overlay is so enormous and not good. The truth is so simple. The New Testament in 100 words or less. You ready?
I don't think I want to hear this, Harry. Will you take me home?
No, not right now. I do want to hear this.
Sit down, Edith. You act like you believe him.
It's sacrilege.
How can it be sacrilege? He hasn't said anything yet.
The New Testament is sacrilege.
There have been a dozen New Testaments, from Hebrew to Greek to Latin to Tyndale, all the way to King James. All revisionist and all called revealed truth.
I mean, a New Testament in 100 words.
I can give you the 10 Commandments in 10 words. Don't. Don't.
Don't. The commandments are just modern updates of more ancient laws and Hammurabi's code.
That's right. And they weren't the first, right? Edith, I was raised on the Torah, my wife in the Quran. My oldest son is an atheist. My youngest is a Scientologist. My daughter is studying Hinduism. I imagine that there is room there for a holy war in my living room. But we practice live and let live. Why don't you sit down? What is your preferred version of the Bible?
The King James, of course. It's the most modern, the work of great scholars.
Modern is good.
All right, John, hit us with the short form.
Guy met the Buddha, liked what he heard, thought about it for a while. Say 500 years while he returned to the Mediterranean. Became an Etruscan, seeped into the Roman Empire. He didn't like what they became, a giant killing machine. He went to the Near East thinking, why not pass the Buddha's teachings on in a modern form? So he tried. One dissident against Rome. Rome won. The rest is history. Well, sort of. A lot of fairy tales mixed in.
I knew it. He's saying he was Christ.
Oh no, that's the medal they pinned on Jesus to fulfill prophecy.
The crucifixion.
He blocked the pain, as he had learned to do in Tibet and India. He also learned to slow his body processes down to the point where they were undetectable. They thought he was dead. So his followers pulled him from the cross, placed him in a cave. His body normalized as he had trained it to. He attempted to go away undetected, but some devotees were standing watch. He tried to explain. They were ecstatic. Thus I was resurrected, and I ascended to Central Europe to get away as far as possible.
You don't mean a word of this, John. My God, why are you doing this?
Let me see your wrists.
They don't scar. Besides, they tied me, but nails and blood make better religious art.
All the speculations about Jesus. He was black, he was Asian, he was a blue-eyed Aryan with a golden beard and hair straight out of Banal Sassoons. He was a benevolent alien. He never existed at all. Now he's a caveman.
The Christ figure goes all the way back to Krishna. Hercules, of course.
Hercules?
Born of a virgin, Alcmene. A god for a father, Zeus. The only begotten. Savior, the Greek, Soter. The good shepherd, the Prince of Peace, bringing gentle persuasion and divine wisdom. He died, joined his father on Olympus 1,000 years before Gethsemane.
How can you compare pagan mythology to the true word?
Pretty damn closely, I say.
The early Christian leaders, they threw away Hebrew manuscripts and borrowed from pagan sources all over the place.
Do you realize how inconsiderately you're treating my feelings?
Yeah, about as inconsiderately as we're treating John's.
Well, he doesn't believe what he's saying.
Do you believe literally everything in the Bible, Edith?
Yes. No, before you say it, I know it's undergone a lot of changes, but God has spoken through man to make his word clearer.
He couldn't get it right the first time?
We're imperfect. He had to work to make us understand.
He couldn't get us right the first time, Edith?
Taken alone, the philosophical teachings of Jesus are Buddhism with a Hebrew accent. Kindness, tolerance, brotherhood, love, a ruthless realism acknowledging that life is as it is, here on earth, here and now. The kingdom of God, meaning goodness, is right here, where it should be. I am what I am becoming. That's where the Buddha brought it.
And that's what I taught. But a talking snake made a lady eat an apple, so we're screwed. Heaven and hell were peddled so priests could rule through seduction and terror, save our souls that we never lost in the first place. I threw a clean pass. They ran it out of the ballpark.
This is blasphemy. It's horrible. Who else were you? Solomon? Elvis? Jack the Ripper?
It's been said that Buddha and Jesus would laugh or cry if they'd known what was done in their name.
And if there is a creator, probably feel the same way.
I see ceremony, ritual, processions, genuflecting, moaning, intoning, venerating cookies and wine. And I think, it's not what I had in mind.
That's Vatican flapdoodle. It doesn't have a thing to do with God.
As you said, John, everywhere religions, from exalting life to purging joy as a sin. Rome does it as grand opera. A simple path to goodness needs a supernatural roadmap.
Supernatural.
A stupid word. I mean, anything that happens within nature, whether we believe it or not.
Like a 14,000-year-old caveman.
I drove for a while, and then I sat for a while. I'm so ashamed. And I'm freezing.
Well, come inside.
I still don't believe you, of course. You need help.
Everybody needs help.
Yes, well, some more than others. From the Buddha to the cross, I have always imagined both as entirely mythic. Yeah, but I would like to hear more. May I lie on the couch for a moment? I'm not as young as I used to be. Oh! So, you were Jesus. Well, perhaps somebody had to be, for better or for worse. The jury is still out. When did you begin to believe you were Jesus?
When did you begin to believe you were a psychiatrist?
Since I graduated Harvard Medical School and finished my residency, I've had that feeling. Oh, I sometimes dream about it.
Have you acted upon this belief?
I had a private practice for a while, and then I taught. Nothing unusual. Oh, until one day I met a caveman who thought he was Jesus.
Do you find that unusual?
Very. I would stake my reputation he is as sane as I am. So why does he persist in such a story?
There must be a reason, no?
Unless I imagined it all? Is that possible?
I think you're as sane as he is.
Oh, God. No. Did you ever find it prudent to worship yourself rather than be thought a heretic? That would be something.
At the times Christianity was considered heresy, I had to pretend other faiths.
And what does Jesus have to say to those present who find it difficult to believe in him?
Believe in what he tried to teach, without rigmarole. Piety is not what the lessons bring to people, it's the mistake they bring to the lessons. Well, it's getting to be night. I still have stuff to carry. A long drive.
I'll help.
John, do you have a destination in mind? Never mind. I won't ask.
Thank you.
Anyone mentally ill can imagine a fantastic background, even an entire life, and sincerely believe it. The man who thinks he is Napoleon does believe it. His true identity has taken a back seat to his delusion and the need for it. If that's the case with John, there is a grave disorder.
Organized brilliantly.
You've got an answer for everything.
It might involve rejection of his father, of his entire early past, replaced by this fantasy.
He says he can't remember his father.
Yeah, precisely why.
You said he was sane.
Did I?
Do you think that perhaps our caveman has a monkey on his back?
Drugs.
No. I've done a lot of consulting work with the narcotics division. I've seen people tripping, strung out, whatever's up with John. It isn't that. I've looked for signs. None.
Could cavemen really talk?
Well, we think that language came into existence 60,000 years ago. The structure of Stone Age culture is evidence of the ability to communicate verbally.
Oh, shit.
Maybe it'd be easier if I were.
Crazy? No.
It is fascinating, isn't it? A brave attempt to teach Buddhism in the West. It's no wonder he failed. We're not ready for it.
You're talking as if you believed him.
Well, it is possible, isn't it? I mean, anything is possible. Look, we have two simple choices. We can get all bent out of shape intellectualizing or bench pressing logic, or we can simply relax and enjoy it. I can listen critically, but I don't have to make up my mind about anything. You think you do?
Well, unfortunately, there's no authorities on prehistory, so we couldn't stop him there.
There are experts on the Bible.
Dream on.
Yeah, that's the lost years of Jesus. He didn't exist until John put on the hat.
I don't believe in angels and the nativity and the star in the east, but there are stories about the childhood of Jesus.
History hates a vacuum. Improvisation, some of it very sincere, fills the gaps. It would have been easy to falsify a past back then. A few words, credulity, time would do the rest.
Now you're talking as if you believed it.
Well, look at the popular myths surrounding the Kennedy assassination in a few short years. You had a conspiracy, mafia, CIA. That's a mystique that'll never go away.
Well, it's always been a small step from a fallen leader to a god.
I don't think anybody will deify Kennedy. We're more sophisticated than that.
We are. We are.
Well, you're finally fulfilling one prophecy about the millennium, John.
What's that?
Here you are again.
You like the fire, John?
Everywhere I've lived, I've had a fireplace. Childhood fixation, I guess. Helps me to feel secure.
There are predators out there.
One thing I didn't pack. I thought I might need it.
Wouldn't Sacre du Printemps be more appropriate?
What?
You got 4 men of science completely baffled, my friend. We don't know what to make of you.
Did you know Voltaire was the first to suggest that the universe was created by a gigantic explosion? I think Paul would agree. And that Goethe was the first to suggest that spiral nebulae were swirling masses of stars. We now call them galaxies. It's kind of funny how often new concepts of science find their first tentative forms of expression in the arts.
So did Beethoven do physics on the side?
He spent most of his time lying on the floor in front of his legless piano surrounded by orange peels and apple cores.
Now we're on the floor listening to Beethoven. Full circle.
Did you have, any religious beliefs? Or did you give it much thought?
You can't get there with thought.
You have faith?
In a lot of things.
Do you have faith in the future of the race?
I've seen species come and go. Depends on their balance with the environment.
We've made a mess of it.
There's still time. If we use it well.
Christianity has been a worldwide belief for 2,000 years.
How long did the Egyptians worship Isis or the Sumerians Ishtar? In India, sacred cows wandered freely as reincarnated souls. In 1,000 years, they'll be barbecued and their souls will be in squirrels.
You weren't Jesus.
Oh, yes.
If it rains, you...
It won't.
How do you know that?
I don't smell it.
Were you, I guess, a medicine man?
I was ashamed a few times. I revealed some truths to eat a little better.
You think that's all religion is about? Selling hope and survival?
The Old Testament sells fear and guilt. The New Testament is a good code of ethics, put into my mouth by poets and philosophers that are much smarter than I am. But the message is never practiced. Fairy tales build churches.
What about the name Jesus? Did you pull that out of a hat?
I called myself John. I almost always do. As tales of resurrection spread, the name was confused with the Hebrew Yohanan, meaning God is gracious. My stay on earth was seen as divine proof of immortality. That led to God is salvation, or Hebrew Yeshua, which in translation became my proper name, changing to late Greek, Jesus, then to late Latin, Jesus, finally medieval Latin, Jesus. And it was a wonder to watch it all happen.
Then you didn't claim to be the Son of God?
It began as a schoolhouse and ended as a temple. I said I had a master that was greater than myself. I never said he was my father. I wanted to teach what I learned. I never claimed to be king of the Jews. I never walked on water. I never raised the dead. I never spoke of divine except in the sense of human goodness on earth. No wise men came from the east to worship at a manger. I did do a little healing with some Eastern medicine I'd learned. That's it.
The three wise men began as a myth about the birth of the Buddha.
John, I should be home kissing my wife. We're all here trapped by her story, hoping for a revolution. I don't know. Are there any more revelations for us?
It's just like old times.
You weren't Jesus.
Quote the Sermon on the Mount.
Which one? Darby, King James, New American Standard?
Do you know them all?
No one knows the one, not even me. I did some teaching on a hill one day. Not that many people stayed. But biblical Jesus said, "Who do you think I am?" He gave them a choice. I'm giving you one.
Were you?
If I said no, could you ever be sure?
Turn that off. Please. This has gone far enough. It's gone much too far. These people are very upset. I don't believe you're mad. But what you're saying is not true. That leaves only one explanation. The time has come when you must admit this is a hoax. A lie. Isn't that true, John? If you don't drop this now, if you can, I'll be convinced that you need a great deal of attention. I can have you committed for observation. You know that. I ask you now. I demand it. That you tell these people the truth. Give them closure. It's time, John. Please.
End of the line. Everybody off.
What?
It was a story. It was all a story.
Good God!
Another fairy tale?
Oh, but what in the name of heaven?
John, you had us wondering whether you were sane or not, and it's just a story. Where'd you come up with such a half-baked, asinine idea?
At least you're relieved I'm not a nut.
I prefer you were.
You gave me the idea. All of you.
Come again?
Edith saw my fake Van Gogh.
You could have just told me.
You commented that I never age. You gave me the book on early man. Then you spotted the bird, and you said if stones could speak.
I knew it.
I got the notion, I ran it past you to check your reactions, and I took it too far.
Too far. Check my reaction.
You asked if I was a figure from religious history, if there were others like me, if I had created future identities. We were chasing our tails around the maypole, enjoying the mystery, the analytical stretch. You were playing my game. I was playing yours.
Oh, man, you know, you had us going, right? Oh, you were good, man. You know those Chinese boxes, one inside the other, inside the other, inside the other. I feel like I'm in the last box. You son of a bitch! How could you do this to us?
I was worried about you.
I know, I was tempted to cop out many times, but I couldn't resist seeing whether or not you could refute what I was saying. I had the perfect audience. Anthropologist, archaeologist, Christian literalist, a psychologist.
Okay, I've had enough of this. I'm out of here. You want to come? Let's go.
So, John, are you going to write the story?
If I do, I'll send you copies.
Don't bother with mine, okay? You are absolutely certifiable. I don't know you.
It was nice seeing you again, Dr. Oldman. Your name's a pun, isn't it? Old man. Did that help you with your story?
Linda!
Bye.
Well, that was half right.
Which half? Well, at least I don't have to throw away half of what I know about biology.
Which half?
It's a beautiful idea. So rich. So full of possibilities.
Perhaps you should write a paper on it, Doctor.
Maybe I will. I'll interview you in the rubber room for further details. You may still need help, my friend.
My ass.
I thought it sounded pretty good.
They believe you because they have to. But the one thing that I know about you is that you would never use people or abuse their goodwill and intelligence like they think you've just done to them.
Psych 101?
No, it's woman. One-on-one. So you're a pretty fast liar, Mr. Ugg. But I want to know, what's your real name?
Believe it or not, the sound was always John.
Why'd you cave to Gruber?
What happened was enough. Just needed to stop. I shouldn't have expected it to work.
14,000 years old. I bet that's a lot of women.
Are we counting?
Maybe.
Well, I'm taking Edith home. Sandy?
I'm gonna stay.
Are you sorry for some of those things you said?
I'm sorry I said them.
Well, like a good Christian, Oh, John. Oh. You did a terrible thing. But we're all so thankful you're all right. Even Art, he just hates things he can't understand.
You're a sadist, John. And I admit I got a kick out of chasing my tail around your maypole. Even if that is all I caught. Good luck to you. Wish you the best.
Thank you.
Ready? Later on.
Okay, good night.
I don't know, man. Something about this. Something about you, John. The more I think about it, the more I'm no longer in that Chinese box. I sense space. A kind of latitude in what we happily call reality. In which, as everybody keeps saying, anything's possible.
Yes.
No more words. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch Star Trek for a dose of sanity. Good luck to you, man, wherever this may lead you. You drop me a line sometime. Let me know how you're making out.
I will.
So, John Oldman, what other pun names have you used?
Lots. John Paley for John Paleolithic. John Savage. Got really crazy about 60 years ago. When I was teaching at Harvard, I was John Thomas Partee. John T. Partee, Boston Tea Party.
I get it.
Yeah, I know.
Wait. But Boston? 60 years ago? John Partee? You did not teach chemistry. I do not believe you!
Your mother's name was Nova.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Yes. Nola. My mother. I reject this. My dog's name. We had him before I was born.
Wolfie.
Wolfie.
Gruber, she remarried?
She said you abandoned us.
Sorry, I had to move on. You know that. I left enough.
Cold.
Chilly Willy, always cold. Never could stand the cold.
Wait, you had a beer?
Yeah, you used to tell them to see if it was real. Will? God. 911 now! Willie, come on, Will. Will, come on, buddy.
You'll stay in touch, Dr. Ullman, in case there are any questions.
I'll be back for the funeral.
Miss?
You never saw a grown child die.
No.